5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hi everyone, welcome to another edition of the Techie Prepper. That's me. Today we're going to be discussing something that's kind of near and dear to my heart. In my previous career, I spent over 10 years as a RF engineer, and I worked in New York City. If there is an agency with an acronym that has radios or a radio system in New York City, I probably did some consulting work for them. So, not tooting my own horn, but I'm just telling you I have a background in this, and this is kind of right up my alley, and I enjoy this type of material. So, what are we talking about today? EMPs. For those unfamiliar with EMPs, basically it's electromagnetic pulse, and what it does is it interferes or can interfere with electronic components here on Earth that people have, radios, cell phones, microwave, anything with electronic circuitry in it can be affected. May not be, but it can be. There's a possibility there. It could really disrupt things if something were to happen, and there's different types of EMPs. There's a coronal mass ejection, which has happened in the past, like 100 years ago or something. Can't remember the exact date and time, but basically that's a big ejection from the sun that causes electromagnetic waves to race towards the Earth, and once it hits here, they can wreak havoc and cause damage to, like I said, electronic devices and components and networks. So, and then there's lightning. It does too. Causes EMPs, but it's very localized, very close to the event where the event happens. And then there's nuclear EMP, and that's the one that most people worry about these days because of rising tensions with different nations and that type of thing. And the DoD actually did a study, and if a nuclear device was to be detonated above, say, Kansas City in the middle of the continental U.S., it would have a detrimental effect on the majority of the continental United States. As I mentioned, the severity can differ. Every device really has to be tested. You don't know if it's going to affect your cell phone, your $3,000 refrigerator with all the electronics built into it and stuff. Your car. It can have potentially devastating effect on anything, and it could also just be temporarily disabling to some devices. So, without actually testing, you're just kind of taking a shot in the dark as to what will be rendered useless and what won't be. So it's better to be a little bit protective of some of your more sensitive items that you have around the house that you'd want to keep for an emergency if one of these events were to occur. Like I said, the probability is very low, but it could happen. And if you have to store your items away anyways, like you were doing, radios or something that you wanted to keep after a disaster, if you have to store them away somewhere anyways, why not put them in something that you think gives you the best chance for its survival if there ever was an EMP? You got to store it somewhere anyway, so why not? So basically what happens in an EMP is the electromagnetic waves rain down, and what happens is they hit the electronic components inside your devices, and the voltage spike is so sudden and so high that it overwhelms the circuitry and the components, and that's why a lot of them fry. Some of it will just shut down. It may just shut them down depending on the severity and your distance from the event and that type of thing. So it may shut down temporarily and come back on. Here's a true story for you. I was actually in my car with some friends just out of high school. I was sitting in a parking lot drinking a few adult beverages, waiting to go into a club, because it's cheaper to drink beforehand. So we had a couple beers in the car, and a transformer about 100 feet from us up on a pole blew out, and it literally shut down my car and it shut down the radio and everything. But it was temporary. You could see the lights go out. Everybody's cars went out, the headlights went out in the whole parking lot. It was kind of crazy, and that was my first experience with it. Like I said, I was lucky enough to where my car wasn't damaged. It came back on, the radio worked and everything, so it was fine. It just blew it out for a second, and that kind of reiterates Some things may be damaged permanently, some things may not, but you know, why take a chance? Just protect what you can. There's no need to the likelihood of an event happening in that magnitude where everybody in the continental U.S. is affected, or anywhere you live, everybody's affected, is slim to none. You know, I mean, you hope it would never happen, and it probably won't. But why not be, like I said, prepared? There's no need to go out and spend. I wouldn't, in my opinion, spend thousands of dollars. I actually set up test labs for a New York City agency, and test labs with equipment and procedures that involved the use of Faraday boxes. We actually put equipment under test in them to test their signal strength and their health. So I do have some experience in this realm, and I wouldn't do it. I don't do it. I'm not going to spend thousands of dollars on one, because to be honest with you, they also have a tendency to fail. The seals on them can go, and they start leaking after a while. So I wouldn't spend a whole lot of money personally on it, on this type of protection, and prepping. But hey, everybody has their own wallets, and you can do what you like. I tend to prefer a $30 solution. Like I said, I store some things in that, and why not? I'd either put them in a tote, cardboard box, or I can put them in this and have a little bit more peace of mind. So how it works? Sorry, I'm stuttering a little bit. This is only my 6th YouTube video, I think. I'm still getting used to being in front of the camera, but so basically how it works is the electromagnetic waves come down, and how a Faraday box works is totally sealed off. Something totally encased in metal. It's a full conductive enclosure. The waves come down, and what they do is they induce excitement upon the conductor here, and basically it excites the electrons in here. They start flowing as well. There's excited electrons coming down, and then they have an effect on this, and it's so quick they excite the electrons on the conductive material that it creates an electric field in this material, which counteracts the electromagnetic waves coming down. So it happens in an instant, and like I said, it basically repels it. It doesn't shed it or reflect it and bounce it off. No, it comes down, it excites this, it electrifies this basically, and then that creates a counter charge to fend off the EMP. And that being said, the larger the container or the box, the more resistivity it has, so it takes longer to react. So you could get yourself a big, 30-gallon, 50-gallon trash can or something like that, and it would probably still work. But I have a tendency to like the smaller ones. I don't keep a whole lot in it, but to each his own. Yeah, so what I use is I think it's a 6-gallon. I should have known this before I came on the video. Started talking to y'all. Yeah, it's a 6-gallon, and you can see it fits pretty snug. It's just a regular metal trash can, 6-gallon trash can, and for a little added protection, what I do, because it does incite, like I said, when the EMP comes down and it hits this, it does incite an electric field on this conductor, and that's going to be on the inside too. So what I do is I either use some cardboard or some foam, cut it to the size, and anything that you store in here, you don't want touching the conductive material. So you want to insulate it a little bit, just a little bit of an air gap. So I lay that on the bottom. You can put cardboard around the sides just in case it bumps against the side and that type of thing, and offers that extra level of protection. As I said, depending on the device that's in there, some may shed the voltage a little more that's created by this, but better safe than sorry. And I guess one more thing I wanted to cover on this, and then I'm going to sign off, is you want to make sure, if you do get this, that it's not damaged. Because you go to the store, you get it shipped to you, and some of them, they're jacked up, to be quite honest with you. They got dents in them and that type of thing. So make sure that you got a nice round top to your trash can, and that your lid's not dented or damaged, because you want it to make a tight seal. And this makes a very tight seal because it's in good shape condition. You can see, but it actually creates suction and a vacuum effect when I take it off, so you know if it's tight. You can augment it with some metal screen if you'd like, just to ensure that it does make a good seal. Or you could cut aluminum foil around maybe an inch around the outside and then pop it down. You know, there's ways that you can actually make it a little better. I don't tend to do that because I get in and out of it a lot to check my devices and use the devices that I actually keep in here. And this seems to be good enough. Thank you for watching my video. I appreciate your support. Links to any of the products covered in my videos can be found below, as well as a link to my website, thetechieprepper.com. On the website, I actually go into a little more detail, showing some basic schematics, more detailed photos, and that type of thing for everything that I cover within my YouTube videos. So don't be afraid to go there and check it out if you're interested. As you can probably tell from the video production, I do this as a hobby. I have a full-time job, but my YouTube videos I put out there to hopefully help people better prepare for emergencies or to endure emergencies with a little more comfort and capability. So that being said, if you are interested in my content or you liked it, please like, subscribe, hit the notification button so you know when I have a new video coming out. And also important is to share with friends, family, anybody who you think might be interested in this content and you might want to help out, you know, like I said, to better prepare for emergencies. So that's all I have for now. Thank you again for watching. I appreciate it. And hopefully I'll have something cool to show you next time. Thanks. Bye.